We have a guest today. I love it when we have a guest.
We do.
We do have a guest. Let's bring up Miss Sophia Forsyth, CEO of the Omaldi Group. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you.
Thanks for being
Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. Why don't you give everybody real quick 2-minute spiel? Who are you and what is the Omaldi Group? And then we'll kind of get into what we're talking about today.
Absolutely. Omadli Group is a data analytics and AI solutions company based out of Boston. So I'm here to help clients with streamlining their reporting, also with AI solutions right now as cutting edge AI, so helping them to get the most out of their data.
How much data do you get from Dunkin' Donuts? Because I figured you're in Boston. It's one of those things. I went to school in the Northeast, and they love their Dunkin' up there. Like, people make fun of them for it, but it's true. All right, let's just jump right into some data analytics stuff here. Data analytics is a pretty broad topic, to say the least, and let's bring it right in straight into what MSPs need to do. What kind of data should MSPs be? Because we talked about this a little on a show before, Eric. We were just talking about, like, what data should an MSP use or collect, and what should they do with it? So let's ask the professional here: what data should an MSP be collecting, and what should they be doing with it?
Absolutely. So MSPs already have clients and their clients have data. So right now we're living in a world of data where every impression, every like turns into data, right? That we can make informed decisions on. So when we talk about MSPs is when we look at MSP clients, they have their data housed on multiple different systems. So we're talking about ERP systems, financial systems, operationals, marketing systems, right? So what could do is MSP could see what the pain points are of their clients, meaning what are they trying to do with that system? What problems they're trying to solve? And how can they marry together so that their clients could get a kind of bigger picture of what's happening with their business? So that's one of the ways. And that's what we've been working with MSPs actually on.
So bringing in that data from the client, because obviously the clients always want to know, like, where are we spending our most money? Who's the most problematic person? Should we fire Judy because she doesn't understand how the cloud works? Things like that. Is that what you're getting at?
So what I'm saying is, like, what I'm hearing is MSPs usually have account executives that meet with clients and kind of figure out what are their goals are, what are they trying to achieve, and they also manage all of those systems on the cloud because they need to make sure that the licenses for these systems are onboarded for all the users. So I think it's a good way for MSPs to see, like, why are they using those softwares? Like, what's the reason for it? And also from what we've seen is what type of reporting they derive from the software, like talking to executives. What type of report do you want to see? At the end of the day, most of those softwares are there to increase profitability, to increase revenues for that business. So trying to figure out, okay, how are you getting the data out of that system? And what's the process like? Is it lengthy? Is it taking a lot of time? Are you getting that custom report that you want? And how fast are you getting it? That's one of the ways.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, right? And, like, I feel like that reporting always seems to be a big problem for MSPs, right? Like, whenever we talk to MSPs about that kind of stuff, we say, like, all right, what are you doing for your reporting? Because, like, I have clients who ask us for reports all the time, right? And we're still manually dragging our feet across some of it because this client wants these 5 items and this client wants these 3 items and this client wants a whole different set of items. So how can we, like, make this easier for us? I forget everyone who listens. I don't care about you guys. I'm kidding. But, like, help me. Like, how do we make it more streamlined internally?
Absolutely. So here's the thing. I've been working with clients from different industries, and what I've seen, it happens for all of the clients. Basically, it's everybody uses every ERP system or every CRM system has its out of box reporting. But guess what? Most clients don't use it because they want something custom to their business. They want KPIs that are relevant to their business or that they come up with so they can keep track of things better. So I think the number one thing is looking at, for example, I had a client when we started with the real estate client that I had, and they had the reporting done in Excel. So somebody will go in there, download the reports from Yardi. That's one of the leaders in the real estate And actually, they also have a healthcare suite as well in their software, and they have out of box reporting. But most clients that I've seen throughout my entire history would not just use like the the occupancy report straight from the Yardi, for example. They would take that report, they would take multiple reports, and somebody on their team would do this crazy formulas with VLOOKUPs and match and hope it doesn't get corrupted or broken down, let's say. And then they would have to present their numbers to the executive team. Usually that process takes, depending on the volume and depending on how big the organization is, sometimes a couple of days. And if there's certain numbers get updated, now they have to rerun this process once again. So I think the biggest thing is like, okay, let's look at the reporting that you already have and let's see which one is taking the longest time.
Right.
And obviously you want also look at the reporting that's important, something that has eyes more than the other ones, like on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, and see how much time it's taking you to put it together. Again, when we were working with a real estate company, we noticed that they had weekly reporting and they had so many properties, and it would take like one full day for somebody to run it and make sure that person took one day because that person's been doing it for such a long time. And that's best use case scenario if the formulas will not break. We come in, we learn basically everything about the back end, where the data is, map it out correctly, and then build it out once. Now, snap of a finger, the data refreshes on back end. No more, nobody's looking at it anymore. Nobody's putting it every week. No time is being spent. It just comes right on. And then also delivery is also streamlined, meaning if you have certain parties that need to be looking at it, they get shipped that to their email. So they open it, and some of them, if they prefer to be on the go, they can have a mobile app for like Power BI, for example. Now they can see their numbers on the go. So nobody is touching that report anymore unless there's a server outage or there's a new mapping that's been introduced. But again, it's a minimum maintenance at that point. So it went from taking someone a day, for example, to taking 0. So you can see how now they actually can look at the numbers and figure out what's happening. Okay, why is certain property, for example, occupancy is dropping on this week? What's the cost? Instead of somebody spending one day and then they're like so bogged down, right? They kind of like scrambling quickly to make sure that report is out and things could be missed, for example.
Yeah.
But now they're actually spending time on more analytics, like figuring out why certain metrics are dropping, what's happening with the business, or how can they elevate them. So they spend on more deep and more rewarding work.
So let's bring this back to MSPs for a second, right? Because it all comes down to KPIs and metrics. Eric, you ran an MSP for a long time because you know that I don't do metrics. What were some of your when you were running an MSP? Eric, what were some of your metrics that you were trying to keep track of?
Well, I think that when it comes to this kind of stuff, metrics are, of course, important. And I was keeping track of a lot of things from, percentage of new ARR or MRR, depending on what I was looking at, what my pipeline looked at in terms of, percentage of where things were in the stages from, awareness all the way down to closed won or closed lost. But I think in this case, we're looking at more for what can the MSP do from a data analytics service offering rather than just the data for the MSP. So I know that when we were setting up this episode, that you told me about a story that you had where you helped an MSP with a veterinary clinic. And so I'm very interested to know, why did the MSP come to you? Like, what level of problem did they have that they needed to seek out a data analytics expert? And then we'll talk more about the rest of that story.
Absolutely. And actually, I started working with MSPs by complete surprise because I had that real estate client that found me and we were working on it. And that real estate client was managed by MSP. So MSP saw what we're doing with that real estate client and like, oh, cool. Our client loves us. Can you help our clients, like our other clients? And then they started feeding me business basically through, like, we help veterinary clinics. We also help automotive clients in automotive business that they had as well. So with the veterinary clinic, they again, MSP was very, that MSP is doing such a great job of listening to their clients and seeing what their clients are doing, learning about their business and seeing the pain points that their clients have. And that's how they like, okay, they saw what we did with the real estate. Again, became like came as a surprise because I wasn't looking out for like working with MSPs or partnering up with MSPs. I just had a real estate client that we did a BI reporting for, business intelligence reporting for, and MSPs was on a back end making sure that we have the Power BI licenses, for example, and they were looking what we were doing, and now they're like, oh, this could be useful for my other clients that need that reporting, that need to see what their revenues are in real time, and asking them, do you have anything like that? Are you getting that reporting to know where your business at now? And that's how they started offering. And basically they started bringing us on the calls like, hey, we have this client, can you come and jump on a call and see if you can help them? They have, like, for example, in veterinary space, they had proprietary software that they built, and MSP is obviously aware of that because they maintaining that software, and making sure the licenses and making sure that any outage or the servers, right? So they're aware, and they like, oh, they're getting these reportings, but they're spending so much time on it. I know you've done something with that real estate. Can you see if you help them as well? And that's a journey where the journey began, and we're still working with them. And as soon as the veterinary clinic got the taste of, oh my gosh, I can get this, like, these reportings right at the snap of my fingers. I love it. I don't have a staff that's now sitting late nights, or they have deadline that they have to sharply meet, and we have to update our systems to get the most recent numbers. Like, it's built once, and now I get it on the go. I know where my numbers are. Like, what else can we do? And we still working with them because they're coming up, oh, I want to see like, what's my practitioner that's giving me the most, for example, revenue on, or what's my practitioner that's giving me, what's the average time of service time, for example, for that practitioner, to get more sense of how can they make their clients happy, for example, how can they streamline their operation and service better. So
So there's a skills
that's where we
gap
are.
evidently with the MSP that you are now filling
Yes.
for them. So for the MSPs that are listening to this, what are some of those skills that you can bring that they can outsource to a Modly Group to augment their service offerings in that business intelligence kind of realm?
Absolutely. So we are skilled in learning about all about data, making sure we know how to marry the data across different platforms. Essentially, if MSP is maintaining the client and that client has multiple different softwares, from HubSpot when we talk about marketing, for Salesforce, for example, or they operational in-house, or any other software that's relevant to their business, they have API access, we on it. Or they have a SQL database, or they have a cloud database. If they are on AWS, they have Redshift, for example, or even S3 bucket, right? So we know how to get the data out and then connect it to the BI tool, either if it's on Microsoft, if it's Power BI, or if it's on AWS, it's a QuickSight. We can bring that data in, build the KPIs, and now that we've helped so many clients, it gives me, I'm still learning. I don't want to say, I'm still learning, but I know what type of KPIs that my clients want, or how to get that KPIs, or how to get that visual, because we've done so many of them by this time, and I know which one works better telling the story, which one don't, and also how to present it for executive teams to make sure that they get the big picture. Also, they're able to drill down to get the details, because we can wrap it up everything and show them the numbers, right? But everybody wants to know, how can I see what is that numbers made of? So there's a capabilities that they can drill down, get the reporting, kind of get more in a trenches if they want to.
So
I
what kind
want
of
to ask though.
questions should an MSP be asking of their clients to kind of know or dig out that they have a business intelligence need?
Absolutely. So again, MSPs, from what I'm hearing, MSPs usually meet with their clients. Again, they look at all of the ERP systems across that they maintain. They need to ask, what is taking you that long? What is your pain points of your staff members? Most of the times, executives would know, like executives, or even people that are supporting the executive team, because they are the ones putting these reports together. They are the ones that will tell you, it's taking me 1 week, or it's taking me 2 days, and it's so manual. I have to work with Excel and it crashes. And then I don't know, and I have to go collect the numbers again. Or we have Visual Basics that we have to run on if there's a clinic that has multiple locations, right? The volume goes up. So you have to make sure you map up the data. When I'm saying map up, let's say they have operational data that shows the visits, and now they want to map it out to the revenue side. Now they have to map it up to accounting, for example, to match each revenue to each GL code, let's say in accounting, right? To make sure that financials are showing that these treatments made this much money, that much money. And now it's like, who's doing that? How much time that's taking, listen to the accounting team, finance team that's putting those reportings together, or any type of analyst that's there, or admins even. If it's a smaller company, admins or marketing departments, basically, and hearing what's taking that long. What would they like to see? Is there an Excel spreadsheet that's been breaking, that's been taking a lot of time to put together, and what they want to see real time on the go analytics, how often they're getting those reportings and how often they would like to get that report. Do they know their numbers at real time all the time?
I think that's
meaning
the big takeaway, right? Is do they know their numbers? And this is true for both the MSPs themselves and the MSP clients, right? Because if you know your numbers, you're going to do well, and if you don't know your numbers, you're not going to. This is why I want to buy you, Eric. I'm going to buy you that shirt that says that wasn't very data driven of you for like the Christmas holiday. That's what I'm going to get you.
I prefer the ugly sweater version.
Yeah, that's fine. So, there's a lot to take in here when it comes to that kind of data, right? I think, I don't want to push it further because you kind of already said like the main point here, which is like you have to know your numbers.
What you track improves.
Yeah.
Just on a simple level, even if we're tracking our habits. If we're looking at it every day, it's going to get improved because we're going to be focusing on them instead of catching it. Because with the clients that we work with, and we work with across many industries so far, I've been in data analytics for a long time. And what I see is, again, what you track improves, is that if they are not looking, if it's a marketing spend, for example, what marketing campaign is doing better than the other? Like, how do you know? Then you just spending money. And another thing that I've noticed is that data analytics, most companies look at their numbers, when? At the end of the month. Reporting time. When it's too late, things already happened. They're catching it already, done. Nothing can be done. But with what we're doing with data analytics with MSP clients is that we even set up alerts. So if their KPIs are down now, they get alerted. Because there's an option with Power BI, for example, you can send alert on your emails. Now, all of a sudden, you're catching the problem before it's too late. Or we have also created reports where you can spot unhappy clients or unhappy customers. Meaning, if you have a certain client that's been giving you a certain volume, churn, right? And now all of a sudden you see that volume is dropping and it's been dropping continuously. It's not, sometimes there's sudden drops, sometimes there's just slow drops, right? So you're not getting surprised, for example, months down, like that client's left. There's nothing can be done anymore. But if you catch it right now, you can start engaging with the client, seeing what works for them, what doesn't, before it's too late.
Awesome. So I think that's a lot of great information. And I think we've covered, why business intelligence is important, why the analytics are important, as well as how an MSP might go about adding this as a service offering. Now, if somebody wants to get in contact with you and work with the Amadly Group, how do they do that?
Absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Sophia Forsyth. And then also you can go to amadlygroup.com as well. That's our website. I would be happy. And another thing that I would like to add here, we also forward-thinking company. So we have MSP bot that we put together. If anyone is interested to help to tackle your tickets more streamlined, more efficiently, I would love to collaborate with MSPs and see if we can boost your efficiency and help you out on that front. And also, I have a roadmap to prompting because again, AI is here. We need to embrace it. So I have an AI prompting roadmap. So DM me. Would love to help out. Would love to keep talking about this.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Sophia.
Thanks, Sophia.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think, Eric, just to wrap us up for the day, I think what it really comes down to is we said it, like, know your numbers, track that information, even if you're tracking it simply or you're using a company like Omaldi Group to help track and get all that data out of there. So for those who are at home, tell us how you're tracking your numbers. Leave us a comment here on the Facebook group. Check us out, facebook.com/group/all things MSP. Watch all of this in high def glory and watch how I spilt water on myself mid-episode. Anyone didn't notice that one. At youtube.com/@allthingsmsp. Follow us on your favorite podcasting tools. You're listening to it right now. Pull over, leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Eric, any final words before we say goodbye?
Only that I'm going to zoom in and make sure that we highlight the fact that you spilled water on yourself during the episode.
Please do. That would be awesome. Well, that's Eric. I'm Justin. Bye.